against the Olympic champion, Pamela Gelimo, and we know what a talent she is. There's Garcia of Colombia on the inside, the Colombian record holder. Just on her outside, Lupa of the Ukraine, former junior champion at 800 metres. Sinclair, the Jamaican record holder at 800 there, 29 years of age. Hartmann of Germany, obviously a big cheer for her. Personal best of just over 2 minutes, so she's got to run, I think, pretty close to that, or a good run to get through here today, because there's some very, very classy women in this race. Here's one of them, Maggie Vesey. Well, she made a real mess of the American Championships, came home with a 24-second last 20 metres, and obviously finished in fourth, as Peter pointed out, but then got in because the third placer couldn't get the qualifying time, which she managed to when she came across to Europe. Just outside of her is Salome Dell of Papua New Guinea, and then the fantastic Pamela Gelimo. One of the highlights from the Olympic Games, where she just destroyed everybody by her front running. Personal best of 1:54. Well, she's eased through in 1:59.49 this year, but she is a real talent. She loves to front run. Whether she's going to do that today or not, it'd be interesting, because if she front runs fast, and we know that Vesey in the United States finish fast, should be a fascinating race, shouldn't it? Again, they're off, but how fast are they going to go? At the moment, it looks as if Gelimo is coming off the throttle. She's decided not to go too hard. On the inside, it looks as if it's Hartmann and Sinclair and Lupu who are taking it up, coming across the track now. The Jamaican, obviously, Sinclair is moving up, but they're not taking it through fast. This is a big problem, I think, for a lot of these athletes. They're going to find they're going to go through in about 62, and that's not fast enough. It really isn't. There, as you see, Vesey just running well on the shoulder. Gelimo is tucked in about fifth or sixth there on the inside, not looking very comfortable at the moment.
We'll have to remember that Gelimo started this year totally out of shape. She ran 2:05, 2:06 in her opening races, was well beaten after the unbeaten record last year. Now, she has come back. She was second in the Kenyan Championships, but we really shouldn't expect her to be quite in the shape of last year, or has she used the last few weeks, of course, to get into that shape?
Well, we'll soon be finding out, because at the moment the bell's gone through, and they've gone through in 64. That's the slowest I think we've seen so far on the first lap, and they're handing it to the likes, really, of Maggie Vesey, the faster finishers. And in fact, it's Vesey who's decided that's enough. I'm going to take it up. I'm not going to make the same mistake I did in the trials in the United States. Gelimo, though, I think is sensing that the pace is on and easing her way through. She's in about fifth or sixth at the moment. Here she comes on the outside. So Vesey it is, Lupo just behind her. And now it looks as if the Olympic champion, Pamela Gelimo, has decided to stamp her authority on this heat. Vesey doesn't want to let it go, though. Good for her. She's still working hard. Also in there is Sinclair of Jamaica in the yellow vest. And Garcia coming through now. So it's a bit of a race. There's 4 or 5 of them now. And on the outside is the German Hartmann, and the crowd are trying to cheer her on. She's in 5th place at the moment. Gelimo strikes for home. Beautiful strike. She has got form. It's good to see. Vesey is still in 3rd. And Sinclair of Jamaica, I think these 3 are going to get it. Hartmann is trying hard, but she's in 5th place. And unfortunately, that slow first lap means that I don't think any of these women will go through now if they're not in the first 3.
Steve, I was quite impressed with that from Pamela Gelimo. She's had a really tough year after what was a glorious campaign in 2008. She split with her coach earlier this year. She had surgery. Maggie Vesey there, also pretty impressive, coming home in 2nd place. Kenya Sinclair made sure of her qualification with 3rd. But Pamela Gelimo, well, she was untouchable last year. She's had problems earlier this season, and she looks as though she's coming back at the right time. Hartmann, the German, well, she had a pretty good go, but not quite enough.
Well, I think that's Peter said. That's a good run from Gelimo, because she obviously, as Peter said, wasn't in the sort of form that she was at the Olympics. Otherwise, she would have front run. But she's still showing good form over that last 100 metres. Not fast, I must admit, at the time. But nevertheless, that's going to give her confidence.
No, I think she's shown she's used the last few months back home in Kenya, avoiding running on the big races in Europe, and she's obviously got herself back into top shape. And, of course, as we saw last year, absolutely sensational form. And that augurs pretty well, I think. I mean, that's a slow race. We shouldn't perhaps read too much into it. But nonetheless, she did look pretty good.
The crowd are enjoying themselves today. Even the youngsters. glorious atmosphere around this magnificent Olympic Stadium.